Hi, I would like to talk to you about an exercise you can do to improve the story you're working on. So you have at least your first draft of a story. When we're writing a story, I'll show you what's happening. Here we are here, and here's the story we're working on. So we're in overview mode most of the time, and we're looking down and we're building this story, and this is our viewpoint on the story while we're working on it. Whereas when a viewer experiences the story, this is how they view the story. Here's the same story here, but here's their viewpoint here. Here they are running along the story from the inside, only seeing portions of it along the way. Not seeing any of the later part. And so what we want to do is we want to change our viewpoint. We want to, as much as possible, shift our perception of the story to that of the viewer, and I'll show you how we can do that. Okay, so here's one of the episodes I'm working on, and what I'll do is I'll take my story and I'll open a new text document. Now keep in mind, I am not rewriting the story I'm working on. I am not drafting the story on. This text document is a work of writing that exists outside of the story and is used to help the rewriting of the story, but is not the story. It is a different writing. I'll land myself inside my story where I want to start doing this, and I will ask all the questions I need to ask, take it scene by scene, event by event, and be determined to see the story from the reader's point of view and write down what the reader sees. So in my story here, you can see I have one character walking around in public, calling to people, so on and so forth. And one question I'll ask myself is, what do I want the viewer to find out in this scene? Knowing that the effectiveness of the writing will determine whether they actually find that out or not. But at this point, I want to at least make clear to myself what I would like the viewer to see and what I would like the viewer to know. So in this other document, I'll start writing. Viewer sees a man calling out to the public, bothering people. He is not getting along with people in general. He is driven by his cause. And then I'll type out things I know the viewer does not know yet, because a big part of looking at it from the viewer's point of view is to understand that we know a lot about the story that the viewer does not, and by keeping in mind things the viewer that have not been revealed to the viewer yet, will make better decisions about how to present information to the viewer. So most important thing the viewer does not know yet is viewer does not know one of my characters, Lily, is part of the scene. So I'll just go on to the next scene here. So the place is clearing out. In the middle of a workday, the public are leaving. There's a general exodus, and John here notices that people are leaving the city, and his response is that he's bothered by it. He's irritated that the public is not sticking around to hear his message. So he kind of storms off. So again, I go back to my document and I just create a space here so that I know I'm in a new scene. Okay, I'll write down what I want the viewer to know. John is concerned that with very little except his cause, a large part of the city is being vacated. This may imply that something harmful to life is in the area. John does not seem to care. And I'll continue typing the document out as I go along from scene to scene. So in the next one, John is walking towards a eatery type building, and there's a woman in the building, at the cash register. And there's a close-up of John kind of grinning and smirking as he walks forward. And at this point, I want the reader to get the impression that John is menacing, and that as he walks towards the woman, that it will be an unpleasant experience for her. And I type that out in the document I'm working on from the reader's point of view. And I'm not working on the story itself. I'm writing a draft of what I want the viewer's response to be, and what I want, how I want to mislead the viewer in interesting ways to add flavor to the story. So this is a close-up of her, and I want the viewer at this point to be wondering, okay, she looks, she's conservatively dressed, whereas John is wearing pretty much a crazy outfit. And so at this point, what I would want the viewer's response to be is, these two are very different types of people. How are they going to conflict with each other? And he walks forward and she starts waving at him. So that's an example of me already knowing ahead of time that John and Celine are going to get along, and I want to trick expectancy of the viewer by understanding that they may get a different impression as these two approach each other, or as John approaches her, and increasing that effect for better writing. So basically, you can go through your entire story and type out a document that is not the story itself, but is a document of how you want your viewer to see the story, scene by scene, what they know and what they don't know, scene by scene, what you don't want them to know. Ask yourself these different kinds of questions. What are they expecting? What are they afraid might happen? What do they want to happen? As you go from scene to scene, what is the carrot that you're dangling on the string in front of them? What is that point of suspense? And so if you have a scene where you've written it so that your viewer wants the couple to get married and move to the suburbs, then you can put all these obstacles in the way of that happening. And you're not writing the story itself. You're typing this out to use as a guide to help you, as much as possible, get a reader's perspective on the story. I hope that was helpful. Thank you for helping me with my artistic efforts when you hit the like button, subscribe, and leave comments. And thank you for all the comments that I've gotten. If you would like to help my underground artistic cause and you have a little bit of time, please go to solomation.com to check out for free the story I'm animating there. I hope your writing goes great, and I hope you have a good day.